don't forget to get your green pasture. We take it every day at this house. The fermented cod liver oil and concentrated butter oil blend. If you start your kids young, they will line up to eat it. And if you don't, they might need you to just shove it down their throat. Anyway, no, don't do that with your kid. But entice them, Yeah. This stuff has helped me heal my teeth naturally from cavities. It's just amazing for all kinds of good brain function, thyroid function. It's just full of all good stuff. It's fermented cod liver oil, so it's easier to digest and absorb. And then it's concentrated butter oil from cows out on spring grasses. And it's just a great company, and they know their stuff. They know how to process this stuff really well so that it gives you the most bang for your buck. If you use Allison10 at checkout for your promo code, you get 10% off, greenpasture.org. Thanks to everybody on the editorial board. Bill, take us back in time. What are we about to see here?
Okay, so let's set the table. This is not only just, a Bill golf sports ball story, but this is also somewhat local to me because this happened in Louisville, Kentucky, which is, if you drive like I drive, it's just an hour up the road. So, but on top of that, a friend of mine who played golf at the University of Louisville, she was also a caddy assistant volunteer at this PGA championship event at Valhalla Golf Course in Louisville. And Scotty Scheffler was the world's number one ranked golfer. He's trying to get to the course. Now, a few hours before that, there was a fatal accident that happened on the same road in the wee early hours. I think it's 4 a.m. Well, Scottie Scheffler is driving a labeled and approved PGA Tour vehicle. And it's raining, it's dark, and there's some miscommunication between the police officers who are on the scene and Scottie Scheffler, who's just trying to get to the golf course. And this police officer claims that Scottie Scheffler tried to run over him, and then somehow he got hooked onto Scottie Scheffler's car. He was dragged and almost ran over, and it turned out to be well, let's just check the video out and see what happens for itself.
Okay, let's play this. Let me know if you can't hear it.
A leaked body cam video shows an initial conversation between Scottie Scheffler and a law enforcement officer moments after the golfer's arrest outside the PGA Championship tournament in Kentucky. The officer
Okay, this is from CNN. I just wanted to make sure everybody knows.
Questioned Scheffler after he was accused of assaulting a police officer when allegedly going around a roadblock to enter the Valhalla Golf Club. The office of the Louisville mayor confirmed the authenticity of the video, but it's not known who initially posted the video or how it was obtained.
I was planning on getting here at 5:50 this morning to start my warm-up for my tee time. Yeah. I had to loop all the way around. That way it took me about probably a half hour. Okay. So I pulled in here. The police officer up there told me to come the opposite way with the traffic and then come in. And as I was pulling in, my window was down, and the officer told me to stop. And first of all, I did not know that he was a police officer. I thought he was one of the security guards that was mistaken. And as I was pulling by him, he grabbed my arm.
Stop right there. Why does it matter if he's a security guard or a police officer?
Because
if somebody's telling you to stop.
Yeah. I was actually thinking the same thing. He was like, I just thought he was some random guy that was doing security. All right, hang on. Let's keep watching.
You're right. I should have stopped. I did get a little bit impatient because I'm quite late for my tee time. And as he was reaching in the car, he grabbed my shoulder and hit me. Like
trying to get you to stop, right?
Yes.
Okay.
It seemed to be a little bit over aggressive because the entrance was open.
Okay.
And I pulled a little bit because I was afraid. I thought he was going to start hitting me, and I didn't know who he was. He didn't tell me he was a police officer. All I saw was the yellow jacket. I didn't know what he was doing. I listened to the police officer.
So the thing is, he's wearing a uniform. Okay. He also is wearing the same jacket that I have on that says police.
Yes.
Okay. Also, on that, if someone's telling you to stop, no matter who it is, you don't keep going. So what happened is you kept going and you took him with you while he's a pedestrian, okay?
Yes.
So you took him with your car and drug him, okay?
Yeah.
Which is not a good thing,
I'm
right?
very aware that was
to make it, so listen to me, so make it even worse, when he asked you to get out of the car, you refused to get out of the car.
I still was not aware he was a police officer. I was actually looking out the window of the car to try to find a police officer. I asked.
We're all right here. And he was there.
Believe me, sir. If I knew
we're all wearing yellow vests so you can see us.
If he knew he was a police officer, I would have been much more or less afraid. But panic kind of set in. As you can see, I'm still shaking because I was afraid. I didn't know who he was.
What do you think of his story, Bill?
I mean, there's some legitimacy to what the officer is saying, but it is so minuscule. Let me explain. And Allie, I think you were part of the corporate media when all these laws started passing, where if you're a member of the media and you were on a roadside for any story, whether it's traffic related or shooting or anything, the media was required to wear reflective vests as well. And a lot of times these reflective vests were not labeled. Okay. So just because somebody's wearing a yellow reflective vest, it doesn't mean that they're a cop. It doesn't mean anything really, unless you get right up on the person that says police. So I've got a super hot take when it comes to this
Bill,
situation. Yeah.
can I tell you a funny story on that note?
Yes.
There was a guy at church wearing a reflective vest because he was doing parking lot duty. And Lily said, "Look, Mom, it's the trash guy."
Oh!
Because she thought it was the guys that pick up the trash because they always wear the yellow. She goes, "Look, Mom, it's the trash guy." And he laughed. But yeah, just to your point,
Yeah. Yeah. So just because somebody yells stop and they're wearing a yellow vest, that doesn't mean anything. But the cop says in the video that we just watched that, oh yeah, he was hooked and you were dragging him, which is a lie. It's been proven that it's a lie. And thank God the district attorney has dropped all charges against Scotty Scheffler. Because I watched the video. And not only did I watch the video from multiple angles, I also watched the video where Louisville Metro Police are trying to back the actual media away because the guy says, "Hey, I'm media. I'm trying to get video of this." Well, whatever you're doing, you can't do it because he's going to jail regardless. I don't know if you know the video clip that I'm talking about, but man, dude, Scotty Scheffler, it's a confusing situation. And he didn't do really anything wrong, in my opinion, when it came to this.
And I saw you kind of get giggly at that point, just like Ann Walter says, stop no matter who tells you to stop. Not in today's world. Not in today's world. I can understand why it's dark out, right? That's another thing that we'd bring up, right? It was early. It was very early. It was 6 o'clock in the morning. And he's probably also just really like.
And lights everywhere.
Yeah, lights everywhere. He's scared because whatever, he's going to miss his tee time and not be the world's best golfer, and Happy Gilmore is going to beat him and whatever. Right. But yeah, I don't know. I mean, I haven't done a lot of investigating. Bill knows way more about this story than I do. But don't forget at AllisonMorrow.locals.com. See, if you're in the chat and you're paying $5 a month, you can ask Bill, the sports aficionado of the Tittle Tattle crew, whatever you want. So go join the editorial board and consider doing that. If you recently had a run-in with the cops, your liver probably needs a detox because you're, scared and in jail. They fed you terrible food. So you should go to getliverhelp.com/Allison and get yourself some of this supplement. You know what? It's got beetroot and milk thistle and turmeric and artichoke extract. It's a great way to heal your liver if you're someone who's working on getting off of foods like processed sugars and processed carbs and all that stuff that just is not good for our cellular function. You also get a free bottle of their omega-3 oil. So getliverhelp.com/Allison, naturopath and allopathic physician, formulated and all natural ingredients. Okay, so going back to what we were talking about, it's interesting because, okay, when you look at the coverage, like you were saying, they address it as if there was a misunderstanding, that the evidence corroborated that, because he originally called it a misunderstanding. So do you think that he got special treatment because of his status? I mean, do you think anyone would have been given the misunderstanding benefit of the doubt? Would we have all been given that option? Or do you think he was treated a little bit more nicely after they figured out who he was?
No. And here's why, because after all this video was released, the district attorney or assistant district attorney in Louisville still did not dismiss all the charges until, 3 or 4 days later. So was this, we need to, the Louisville law enforcement community trying to figure out, how can we save face and still bust this guy? Or is it the Louisville law enforcement community, whether all the way from law and order, the cops to the district attorneys, how are they, being perceived over the last 5 years? And we'll talk about that in my hot take here in a few minutes. Now it's easy to say, if this was a person of color who worked at the event and was just trying to get into the golf course because he's got to sell beer to the people who paid $1,000 a ticket or something like that. If this was that person, would the cops even had more of a negative reaction? It's hard to say that, but they clearly didn't know who Scottie Scheffler was. And I get it. I mean, golf's not near as much of a sport that's followed like basketball, football, or baseball. But the fact that the cops handled this so poorly, and then it took a lot more time than they needed to get this resolved, because, as it's been now put out there, the charges for Scottie Scheffler has been dropped, and Scottie Scheffler had a fantastic reaction. We'll talk about that when we go to the subscribers only. But would it have been different for just the normal everyday Joe? I don't know. And that speaks a lot to the Louisville Metro Police Department's track record.
Okay, there's some pushback on locals, which I'm going to have Bill answer on the supporters only. Okay, because remember, Tittle Tattle is only in its entirety for supporters. DMSR says this is a no-brainer. He has been to these courses and knows they hire staff to manage traffic and parking. All his excuses are total BS, elitist BS. Okay, you want to know about elitism? Tell me whatever you want to tell me about elitism at P.O. Box 3355, Denellen, Florida 34432, and help me become an elitist by sending me some money for my show. Okay. I want to be an elitist. I want to know what it feels like to be an elitist. I'm very far away from that right now, but you can help me with my dream of being an elitist by sending me your loose pocket change, a winning lottery ticket, something of the sort. P.O. Box 3355, Denellen, Florida 34432, or join my elitist wine club at AllisonWinePromo.com. We drink very snobby wine, but actually for the poor man's price. If you sign up for the club, you will have 6 bottles of wine sent to you every 3 months, and you will never not have a great bottle of wine to bring to a dinner party, to apologize to grandma, to try to get your job back, to that cop that you ran over when you were trying to get to that event, that Taylor Swift concert, and they wouldn't let you in, and you just ran over that cop. Find that cop and bring him some AllisonWinePromo.com. You will always have a great bottle. Don't drink it while you're driving. A cop will not like that. But if you bring it to the cop, corked and everything, they will really appreciate it. Maybe they'll drop your charges and tell CNN the
especially in Louisville.
Yeah, it was a misunderstanding. Okay, thanks everybody who's watching elsewhere. We are going to do supporters only over on locals, and we will see you next time. Thanks everybody on Rumble. See you later.